Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So we're gonna do another 24-hour readathon. I haven't done one of these in a really long time. My last one was a timed one, which I think was like 6 months ago, and then I did a 24 hours straight one before that, I think at the start of last year. So it's been a really long time, but I'm ready to do another. So this is going to be a 24 hours straight one. I'm not sure if I'm going to try and pull an all-nighter or if I'm going to do like 12 hours today and then 12 hours tomorrow. I'm still unsure. I don't want to mess up my sleep schedule, but like it sounds kind of fun to pull an all-nighter. The holidays are almost over. I have to go back to school soon, so I'm like, maybe I should just have a little fun, but also it'd be a good idea to not mess up my sleep schedule, so I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, we'll talk about my TBR. So I have 2 books that are on my January TBR that I should read, but the thing with these books is they're both quite long. One of them is a fantasy and a book I'm really highly anticipating, so I'm like, is it the best idea to read this in a readathon? We also have Play Along, which is a super long romance book, and I don't think I would finish this in this readathon. So I was thinking to read the other book on my TBR that is Drowned in the Name of Love. It's a debut novel by my friend. I have the arc for the book. It comes out February 14th, I think. So I'd like to read it before that day, and I'd like to like review it in a video, give her my thoughts and everything. So I feel like it's a perfect opportunity to read that book, but it is a fantasy and it is quite long. I think it's almost 500 pages. So I'm a little worried I won't finish it in this video, and I don't want to read just one book in this video. So my plan is I'm going to start with this book. If it's getting too long into the readathon and I haven't picked up anything else, then I'm going to put it down and pick up some other books, because I want to make sure I'm reading multiple books in this video, and I am a very slow reader, so I want to make sure I'm reading a few books for you guys and we're getting through a few books. So I think it's a good idea to start with that book and then move on if I haven't finished it. I hope that makes sense. We also have some other books I could pick up. We have some books I picked up from the library that aren't on my TBR, but I would like to read them. So we have The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. My friend Can really liked this book and she told me I should read it, so I borrowed it from the library. I did see this at the store, but I could not get myself to buy it because the cover is so ugly. I'm sorry, but this cover is hideous. The colors just, it's so bad. I think American version is alright, but this cover, it's so ugly. I couldn't buy it. So I borrowed it from the library, which I should be borrowing more books from the library anyways. And I haven't read anything by these authors, so I do want to pick this up in February, but I could pick it up earlier in this readathon. It's also super short, just like 300 pages. She said that she read it really quickly, so this is an option. Like I said, I do want to focus on the books on my TBR for January, but you know, we're doing a readathon, we could pick up some other books. I then have A Curious Beginning. So this is the first book in the Veronica Speedwell series. So this is a like historical romance mystery series. The reason I want to read this book is because I recently joined Katie's Readings Patreon, and she's reading this series as like a buddy read with a Patreon. This is, I think, her favorite series, or one of her favorite series. She's talked about it a lot, and I love Katie's Reading. I adore her. I love her videos, and I want to be a part of the readathon. I picked this book up exactly a year ago, January 2024, because I wanted to read it and I did not get to it. So I feel like it'd be a good idea to also read this book. And they read the first book in December and they're picking up the second book in February, and it's the end of January. So I'm like, I should get to this pretty soon. I think it'll be a fast read, but I'm not completely sure because it is like a historical. The writing's a little bit harder to read. It is also like a mystery, so I think it might be quicker for me to read because I want to know what's going to happen and stuff. And I've heard it's really funny, the romance and everything, so this is a good option. And then we have 3 mangas I'd like to pick up, which I very likely will pick these up. So we have Frieren. I don't think that's how it's pronounced. I heard someone pronounce it the right way and I can't remember how they pronounced it, but it is a fantasy manga series. I read the first one in December and I really enjoyed it. I read it fairly quickly, so I think it'd be a really good idea to continue this series in the readathon. I think I'd read it really quickly. So I have the second and the third volume. I then have Love is War volume 12, which is an option. I'm not sure if I'll pick this up, but I have been reading this series and they are kind of quicker reads. I think I'm definitely enjoying Frieren more than Love is War, the last volume I read yesterday. something happened, something exciting happened at the end, but something else happened in the book that I did not like. So I don't know. I'm very up and down with this series, but it's a romance manga. It's YA. They're like academic rivals. I do definitely want to finish this series and get to when the characters are actually like together. So I'm continuing it, but I wouldn't say I'm loving it. Those are all the books I want to read. No, those are the books I'm going to choose from my TBR. So I don't know a lot of what it's about. I know we have a pirate and I think it's set on a boat. She has posted so much about the book and like the aesthetic of the book and everything. I'm so excited to read it. It is a fantasy romance. I'm not sure what the fantasy entails and stuff. And I don't know if it's a standalone or if it's a part of a series. But I'm so excited to read this. The cover also is beautiful. I feel so lucky to have an arc of this book. So we're going to start with Drowned in the Name of Love. I will share my thoughts with you guys, explain more about like the story and stuff as I get into it. The time is 1:20. So should I start it at 1:30? We're going to start the stopwatch on my phone at 1:30. And then we're going to start reading. Don't mind how broken my phone is. But I love that I can do the time on my phone now and not my iPad because I have a camera. Isn't that great? I'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, it's 1:30. Can you see in the corner? Oh, let's start the timer. It says it's 472 pages. So let's get started. I have my book. I have my coffee. That's pretty much done. Let's go. I'm already hooked. Oh my god. Okay, so time update. We're at 1 hour and 9 minutes and I'm on page 42. So I thought I'd explain a little about the story. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil the story. I feel like when it comes to describing like synopsises of stories and stuff, a lot of the time I rely on what other people have shared because I don't want to spoil things, but obviously I haven't heard anyone talk about this book. So I'm going to explain a little bit about the story, what I know so far. We're only at the very, very start, but we are following Donna, who is the daughter of a pirate who was executed when she was very young, and piracy has been outlawed. In this kingdom, you're not allowed to do any form of piracy. You're not allowed to help pirates. If you do, you're executed. And so no boats that aren't like controlled or like owned by the king or whatever, or permitted by the king, are allowed to go on the sea, and you're not allowed to touch the sea either. Like you can't go on the shore unless you are permitted by the king. And Donna obviously lost her father, and then she gets taken in by the king and she lives in this palace and kind of lives the life she doesn't want to. She is kind of living like a privileged life. A lot of things she could want. She has like books, she has the protection of the king, she can practice archery, she can do things she wants, but she can't do what she really wants, which is to go to sea. She feels like a calling to the sea. She now, current day when I'm reading it, has to marry the captain of the guard. She doesn't want to marry him, but it's kind of like a forced thing. And if she doesn't marry him, the king will no longer have her under his care. in his palace, so she was forced to marry him. So that's where I'm at the moment. The writing is very beautiful. I really like the writing style. There are some like grammatical errors and stuff, but I expect that from an ARC and like a debut author who's like self-published. Like I expect that, and it's not outrageously bad. Like I just read Shatter Me, and that was really bad writing, like grammatically. So this writing so far, really liking it. I really like the writing style, really enjoying the story so far, how it's set up. Our character Donna reminds me a little bit of Evangeline, which I kind of expected because that's one of the author's favorite books, Once Upon a Broken Time, that series. And there's some like links to it, which I think is very cute, but I'm very intrigued to see where this goes. I also was looking at some reviews, and a lot of people were talking about the ending and about the second book, so I do think another book is going to come out. So I'm not sure how many books are going to be in the series and stuff, but this is very likely not a standalone. I'm gonna update you guys when I get a bit further into it. Hi guys, so we are 3 hours and 30 minutes into the readathon, and I'm only on page 100 because I haven't really been focusing on reading. I've been mostly reading, but I've been like getting up and doing other things and getting distracted and going on my phone. So we need to stop that. We need to get back into reading. But I have been really enjoying the book, and I feel like I've been reading it fairly quickly, especially for a fantasy. I'm not gonna talk more about what's going on in the book at the moment because I don't want to spoil anything, but she's now on a ship with a captain, the pirate I was referring to before. So yeah, I'm very intrigued to see where this goes. And like I said, I've been reading it really quickly, which also motivates me to continue reading because that's a good sign in a readathon that I'm reading quickly. I really like the writing. I like the world building, the like stories we're being told, little snippets of like magic in the world. Really enjoying it. So I shall update you guys again at some point. Maybe in a few hours once I've gotten more into this book, and I'm going to decide if I'm going to pick up another book or if I'm going to wait until I finish this book. We'll see. I'll update you guys very soon. Okay, hey guys, I was trying to set up ring lights so we wouldn't have to deal with the overhead lighting, but it was not working. So we're gonna have to deal with the big lights. And I know it doesn't look good, and I apologize. I don't understand how other people do it because I was setting up the ring lights and it looked like I had aged 50 years. But I don't think these lights are doing much more justice for me. But anyways, at least that's easier. I like this whole contraption going on in here. Okay, you guys don't care. So let's go through some updates. I'm at 8 hours and 15 minutes and I'm at page 200 of Drowned in the Name of Love. My reading has slowed down a bit. I've been reading like consistently, but it has like slowed down in pace. And I think it's because I need to pick up something else. I am really enjoying the book, but I just feel like a calling to picking up something else. And also I'm not tired. It is almost 10 p.m. It's 9:46. So usually like hours before now I would be feeling really tired, and I'm not. So I'm like, should I just pull an all-nighter? I do have insomnia, but I take sleeping meds so that I can sleep through the night. So I take them every night, and I'm like, if I don't take them, then I will stay up. So I'm like, should I just stay up then? Because why not? I do want to get a lot of reading done. I am behind on my Goodreads goal. Let's see how behind I am. I'm 4 books behind. So should I just try to read a lot? Also, like I said, the holidays are almost over for me, so should I just spend this time reading as much as I can before I go away? I'm not going anywhere before I'm busy. That sounds like a good idea to me. So the book I'm going to pick up next is Frieren, the manga. So this is the 2nd volume. I'm going to give this one a read. I kind of remember where the last one left off. I think I read it like a month ago, but I don't think it'll take me a lot to remember. But like I said, I was really enjoying the story, so I'm intrigued to see where this goes, and I read it fairly quickly. So I'm going to pick this up next. I'm also going to go make some green tea, and then we might also pick up a different book after I finish this. I'm not completely sure yet. I might read the 3rd one next, or I could pick up a book I have to read. We'll get to that when we get to it. I'm going to make a green tea and then pick up Frieren volume 2. I wish mangas were in color. I think there are some that are in color, but like most graphic novels are in color, and I just wish mangas were too. Because the art style is already like so beautiful, but if it was in color, and usually like the covers are so beautiful. I'm not sure if I like should explain anything about this story. We're following Frieren. I think she's an elf mage. She's lived hundreds of years, and she goes on this journey. We don't see the journey, but we see when everyone gets back and all her friends aren't immortal like her and they all pass away, and you see her kind of like process this. And then she kind of trains Fern. She's her apprentice. She trains her to also be a mage, and now they're just going on different journeys together, and you see like Fern kind of learning to like have human qualities, I guess, like empathy and grief and stuff for her friends. So I'm intrigued. It's also just fun to go on their little journeys. I think some more important things are coming up. I think there's something they have to do. I don't remember exactly. I shall update you guys. We'll go make that tea, and then I'll read, and then I'll update you guys. Hi guys, so I have some updates to go through. So I thought firstly I'd start by explaining what happened last night. So I know I said I was going to pull an all-nighter, or try to. That did not work out, unsurprisingly. After I updated you guys, I started reading Frieren, like you saw. It was taking me like 4 times the amount of time it'd usually take me to read this book. The first volume took me an hour to read. Usually manga I read pretty quickly. It was taking me like 3-4 hours to read this, and I was getting so tired. Like only an hour after I updated you guys, I started feeling so tired. So I was really struggling to get through this, and I kept like getting distracted, like going on my phone and stuff, because like I didn't have the energy to read, but I wanted to stay up and pull an all-nighter. But I didn't have the energy. So it got to a point where I was like maybe halfway through this book or a little over, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pause the timer. I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to carry on the readathon in the morning when I'm awake, you know? So I paused the timer. I was in bed for like half an hour. I didn't fall asleep, so I was like, actually, no. I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to make cookies and finish frieren to like wake myself up a bit by going downstairs, getting out of bed, doing a task. I'm going to finish frieren and then I'm going to continue reading. So I did that. As you saw, I went downstairs, I made cookies, and then I turned the timer back on. I finished frieren. I got back in bed and fell right asleep straight away. That didn't really work out. So now it is, what's the time? Oh my god, it's 3 p.m. Okay. And I have not done any reading today. I woke up at 1 p.m. I felt awful when I woke up. I was so tired. I had a headache. I did not feel good, obviously, because I stayed up. I slept for so long. It's also a really hot day, so I did not feel good at all, but I was like, no. I have to continue this readathon even though I really didn't feel like it. I was in bed for like an hour watching YouTube. I got up, got ready. It is now current time. It is 3 p.m. and the timer I did pause, so we're at almost 12 hours. So I'm going to continue the readathon today, but I'm not going to do the full 24 hours, like the full 12 hours that are left. That would mean I would have to stay up until 3 a.m. and I'm not doing that. I'm not staying up again. So the latest I'm going to stay up is like 12 a.m. I will have to cut the readathon a little short, so I apologize. I could continue it on the next day, but I'm like, is there a point of doing that? Like, it's only like 3 more hours. It is like more time, but is it easier to just finish it today, or should I just carry it on so it's just a bit longer? But I think I'm just gonna try and finish it today. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day reading. I do feel like reading, like I don't feel like burnt out from reading. I do want to get more reading done, and I got quite a bit of reading done yesterday, which made me feel like quite productive. And it's the 25th, so we have a few more days left of January. I still want to get books off my TBR, so we're gonna continue reading. Like I said, I finished frieren volume 2. I really enjoyed it. It did take me so long to read because I was so tired, and I was contemplating like, should I just continue the readathon when I'm more awake, because it feels like I'm wasting the time. But then I'm like, then I have so much time left. So I was very undecisive about what to do, and I was also so tired, so I wasn't like thinking very rationally. But anyways, I did finish frieren. I haven't done any more reading, so I'm not sure if I should continue reading Drowned in the Name of Love right now, or if I should pick up something else to kind of like excite me a bit more, because I was really enjoying Drowned in the Name of Love, but I'm like in the middle of the story now, and I'm like, I need something new to like kind of excite me and make me feel more productive so I can like finish more books, I guess, in this readathon. So I was thinking, we do have Play Along, a romance I want to read, but I don't really feel like picking it up. I don't want to like rush through this book, and I'm like, that's a book I'm really highly anticipating. So I'm going to choose from either The Paradise Problem or A Curious Beginning. What am I reading? I just flipped to a random page and started reading. What? His name is Weston. I've heard that before. Where did I hear that? I don't think it was this book. Since this book already has me laughing, I think I might start this one. But I can change my mind. We'll see how I feel. We're gonna start The Paradise Problem, and I think I might also pick up another manga. I think I'm gonna pick up frieren volume 3 since I just read volume 2, and I only have volume 2 and 3 with me now, so I'd like to like get them done. I'm always leaving like manga to the last minute because I borrow them all from the library, and I leave them to the last minute because I'm like, I should focus on reading like novels and the books that are on my TBR and that I'm reading in reading vlogs. But then these get left to the last minute, and then they're overdue at the library, and then I'm like rushing to read them. Literally the other day I had volume 11 of Lover's War, and it was overdue at the library. I went to the library, I finished it at the library, I started and finished it at the library so that I could borrow other books, because you can't borrow books when you have a book overdue. So I had to finish it, I had to return it, I had to wait for it to be like scanned so it wasn't overdue anymore, and then I had to go and borrow the books and I was kind of stressed. But anyways, well, it wasn't really that stressful. But so I'm going to start The Paradise Problem, likely pick up frieren. You guys will see all of that obviously, and we're going to continue the timer, so let's get it up here. And is that the right? Oh, I almost just reset it. Start. There we go. And we're gonna open another monster. I don't want anyone telling me how energy drinks are bad for me, because I already know. I already hear enough of that from my mother, so I don't need anyone else telling me. I don't know how to do this without my hands looking really gross. It's just what is this angle? Oh my god. Just need to open it. Okay. Voila! Why am I holding it like a sippy cup? Okay, let's get to reading. No more procrastinating. That's a lot of books. Hi guys, we're at 14 hours and 45 minutes, so almost 15 hours. So it is 6 p.m. and I have gone to page 52. My reading has slowed down so much today. I think I'm just really tired. But it is a quick read. It's like kind of a fast-paced book. It's not slow, obviously it's a romance. But yeah, I am just tired and I'm kind of annoyed with myself because I want to be reading quicker and getting through more books and stuff, but that's just not happening. I feel like the second day is always harder in a readathon. But I thought I should explain what this book is about because I realized I didn't earlier. I didn't really know anything about this book going into it. I assumed they go on like a vacation together since it's called The Paradise Problem. So we're following Anna and Liam, who also goes by West. So they got married, but it was like a fake marriage. Like they were legally married, but they weren't in love or anything. They got married so they could both have family housing, and they lived together for I think 2 years, and they didn't really know each other. They hardly saw each other. And then after the 2 years, they went their separate ways, and 3 years have now passed, and Anna's life has gone like severely downhill. She went to school for art, which I've been really enjoying. I love art. I used to want to be an artist growing up, so I love reading about someone who also loves painting and art and stuff. So I've enjoyed that aspect, but her life has been very downhill. She's been working lots of like little jobs here and there to make money. And then West, I don't know if I should refer to him as West or Liam. He is like the son of a billionaire, so he has lots of money, and he got his inheritance because of this marriage. And it turns out they are still married, even though Anna thought the marriage had ended. It turns out it wasn't like legally signed off, and the marriage would last for like 5 years so that Liam can get his inheritance. But then his sister is getting married, and his mother wants him to bring Anna with him so she can see the family, and he like decides that he needs to bring her so that the family isn't suspicious because he's been married for 5 years but the family hasn't met his wife. So they get back in touch, and they're now going on this holiday together to this island. They're going to be there for 12 days or 10 days, something like that. And I've been enjoying it so far. We're just at the point where they're on the plane on their way to the island. I like the writing style. I like the humor. I realize I really enjoy humor in books, especially when I have similar humor. Obviously, everyone has different humor, so sometimes some people might find some humor in books not funny and stuff, but I feel like if I enjoy the humor, it really adds to the book. And I really like this writing style. It kind of reminds me of Ali Hazelwood or Tessa Bailey with like the humor side of things. The film main character is kind of like quirky, but not like in a bad way. Like she just acts a little silly, she makes jokes, she's a little over the top, but it's not in a like quirky, I'm not like other girls, I'm so silly and goofy, I'm so clumsy, like you can't take me anywhere, like not like that. But in like an endearing way. Like it is a little over the top, but like it's a fiction book, so what do you expect? I do like West is hard for me to say because I have like a slight list for West. Anyway, Liam is a little more mysterious. We haven't really gone into his character yet, but I really like him so far. They have like some little physical attraction towards each other, but they haven't really discussed it yet, so it does feel like it's going to be like a slow burn. So I'm intrigued to see where this goes. I'm not sure when I should next update you guys. I do want to pick up frieren soon. I was thinking maybe when I get to page 100 of this book, I'll pick up frieren volume 3. I'll update you guys maybe in a few hours. But yeah, so far so good. I haven't been reading as much as I'd like, but I am enjoying what I'm reading, and I have been getting some reading done regardless, so all good things. Okay, long time no see. It's been a long time since I finished my readathon. I should firstly go through how much I read during the readathon. In the readathon, you guys saw I started Drowned in the Name of Love. I got to page 200. I did not read more on the second day. I then started The Paradise Problem and I got to page 125, so I did not get very far into it. My second day of the readathon, I did not much reading at all. I kept getting distracted. I was very tired, obviously because I sat up so late on the first day. I then read frieren 2, completed that book, 200 pages. I then started frieren 3 and I only read 40 pages, did not finish it in the readathon. In total, I read 565 pages. I completed one book. I got like 50% into another book, 30% into another book, and 30% into another book. So I feel like I didn't do too bad, but after the readathon ended, I had a lot of reading to finish because I wanted to finish these books so I could give you my full thoughts and not leave you on a cliffhanger, and that dragged on for like a month. I don't know if I was in a slump. I think I just wasn't prioritizing reading, and because these books were being dragged out for so long, it made me kind of bored by them because I had been reading the story for so long. And this book in particular is definitely supposed to be like a quick, fun romance book. It's not supposed to be dragged on for so long. I think I would have enjoyed it more if I read it quickly, but anyways, I'll talk about this one first since I'm holding it. I rated it a 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the romance. I feel like this book is a mix of Ali Hazelwood and Emily Henry, if that makes sense, which is a little weird because I love Ali Hazelwood. She's one of my favorite authors. I do not, however, like Emily Henry. I haven't liked any of the books I've read by her. So this was like kind of a mix of both, if that makes sense. I feel like it had like the witty characters in Ali Hazelwood's books, the humor, but then it had like the more literary fiction side of Emily Henry's. It wasn't like a literary fiction romance, but it had those elements. Like we were getting a lot about the characters' lives. We were on this island with Wes's family that's very dysfunctional, and we were very much focusing on their emotions and stuff, which is obviously good for a romance. I don't want it to just be all lovey-dovey, but it got to a point where I didn't want to hear about Wes's family anymore. Like they were such horrible people that I'm like, I don't want to hear about them anymore, and it felt like the main plot at some points. So that dragged it down a bit. And it just felt like it dragged on for a little bit, which is mostly my fault because it took me so long to read. Also, I thought Wes was really sweet and cute, but I wish he said more. Some of his responses would be like 2 words, 1 word. I'm like, give us something more. I feel like there wasn't really a part where these characters were talking a lot. No, okay. They were talking a lot, but they were like joking around and bantering, which is obviously a big part of a relationship, but not where they were really talking about their interests. Like Anna would bring up her interest in painting and stuff, and he didn't really have much to say. Like he didn't ask her questions about it, talk to her about it, you know. I feel like they didn't have a lot in common, and I would have liked to see them have like deeper conversations together about their life, if that makes sense. Like they were vulnerable with each other, but I would have wanted more, you know, because I'm like thinking, what would they talk about in private? I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna end it there. And then Drowned in the Name of Love, I gave it 4 stars. Really, really enjoyed it. Oh wait, I think I said I gave it 4 stars to The Paradise Problem. I actually gave it a 3.75. Drowned in the Name of Love, I gave it 4 stars. Really, really, really enjoyed it. It was a very sweet story. The ending had me hooked. I did not expect anything that happened. It made me so excited to continue the series. I feel like the pace of the book in the middle was a little slow, but things really kicked up towards the end. It made me really excited. I as well was reading the book for a really long time and I felt like it dragged on for a bit, or I felt like not a lot was happening, but that's also my fault for taking so long to read it. And I feel like that was in the middle area, but towards end things got really interesting. It was a really quick read. I loved our characters. There's also like a found family aspect, which was really sweet. Very excited to see where this series goes. The writing was really good. Overall enjoyed it. There were quite a few grammatical errors, but I don't really blame the author because it is an arc. I think the errors are fixed in the published book. I'm not sure. Overall, really enjoyed it. I feel like I don't really have much more to say. I've talked about that book a lot. Then what else? I did finish Frieren 3. Don't have much more to say. It also took me a while to read that book. I think mostly because a lot of the book was just like fighting and fight scenes, and I don't really enjoy reading those scenes in books, so it took me a little while to get through. Sorry, my camera just turned off because it's overheating, but I should probably end this video here. It is getting also very dark. It is a very gloomy day. This readathon was fun. I think I had more fun on the first day. I think my next readathon I'm going to do is a timer one. The first time I did it, I did really well. The second time, not so much. I think I'm going to try again and see how I do, but let me know which one you'd prefer to see. But I'm definitely going to do more in the future. They are fun to do, even though this one was kind of a fail. Like, I did reading, but I didn't accomplish a lot, but I still had fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have a book Instagram you can check out if you like. I also have a Goodreads link down below. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video very soon. Bye.